Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to That's Football. You're very welcome as we complete this game week 9 of the Premier League with Tottenham having the opportunity to go back to the top of the league with a home game against Fulham. And apart from Fulham fans and maybe Arsenal fans, maybe Man City fans and maybe Liverpool fans, I think the most of us would actually quite like to see Tottenham win today and make it interesting in the Premier League. I would. And it makes no sense as a Manchester United fan to want Spurs to win because Spurs are probably the team that we could take out of the top four when you look at it. But I just think what Ange has done and the way that Spurs have played and does have a lot of credibility to it. And I'd quite like them to win tonight. But look, the way this Premier League is, and the way teams like Fulham and Brighton and Brentford do, it would be a fool. It would be a Fulham to write them off. So let's have a look at the team news as it goes round. You can see the Fulham lineup there, but we're going to start off with Tottenham. So I should be able to just whack that on the screen for you. Let me get ready going there. Hope you're doing very well this Monday evening. Remember, it's Champions League night tomorrow night. I'm on the United stand for Man United against Copenhagen. And then we're back on here on Wednesday night for St James's Park and Spurs against Dortmund. But there you go. That's the Spurs lineup. Vicario, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogi, Sarr, Højbjerg, Kulusevski, Maddison, Richarlison and Son. It's a strong team, but you know what? No Bissouma because he's suspended. And that interests me because he's a really interesting player. And obviously he's not available for this game. So will they miss him? We'll have to wait and see. Fulham's lineup: Leno, Castagne, Bassi, Ream, Robinson, Lukic, Palina, Pereira, Cordova-Reid, Vinicius and Willian. It's a steady Fulham side that's more than capable of giving Spurs a game. But I think that Spurs win this game tonight. And I don't know what your thoughts are. In fact, we'll start off with a little bit of a poll there. I've done so many either-ors today because I've been recording the podcast, the new episode of the podcast for tomorrow. And we did quite a few either-ors on that. So if you want to get any in tonight, you're more than welcome. Monday Night Football, do we like it? I don't know. I don't know about Monday Night Football. I've got to be honest. Look, we've had an international break, so I'll take Thursday Night Football at the moment. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I sit on Monday Night Football. Actually, it's been around for a long time. It's been around longer than YouTube. I remember Monday Night Football with Keys and Gray in the. I remember Monday Night Football. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Dion Dublin not break his leg on Monday Night Football for Manchester United? I might be wrong, but I definitely remember Monday Night Football happening in... I'll tell you how long Monday Night Football's been going on. I would have been a teenager. I'd have been at secondary school. That's when that was going on. Yeah. I'd have been a young teenager as well. In fact, I might have been younger than a teenager when they started doing it. It was the... Monday Night Football came along when Sky Premier League. It's been in for a long, long time. And I think they get it from American sports because they have Monday Night Football. And on Monday Night Football, when they first launched it on Sky, you used to get the Sky Sports cheerleaders and the fireworks. You'd get big people dressed up as sumos fighting each other. Yeah, it was definitely... it's been with us a long time tonight. Ethan says Spurs clean sheet will be perfect for my FPL. My FPL's okay. It could go from okay to very good if Son scored a hat-trick tonight. So there we go. Gur has always been a fan of Monday Night Football. I tell you what, I don't normally do this as well. I've got to give it a shout out. I know sometimes we talk about films and I will always shout out things that, I'm not one of them people that stay quiet about things because you don't want people to, you don't want to give other people credit. And I think that, I don't know whether you saw the film Boiling Point with Stephen Graham in it, based in a kitchen. And it was like a 90-minute film or a 70-minute film and it was all on one camera, all on one take. They've done a TV series of it as well. It's bloody good. It's really good. So check that out. I've got to recommend that Boiling Point. I want it to get a second series. So, yeah, there we go. there was a sitcom I wanted to get a second series for, and it never bloody happened. So it's called Cockfields or Cockerfields, based on the Isle of Wight. I loved that as well. Didn't get a second series. But we can shout out Boiling Point and hope that he will. Monday Night Football has been going since QPR played City in 1992, says Liam. And Spurs bench isn't good. They don't have depth, says Stemba. Yeah. Cullen's got Udogie, Maddison and Vicario for his Fantasy Premier League. Stephen loves cheerleaders. That always makes me think of that song. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader. Years ago. But then there was a guy who did a clip who was a Liverpool fan. And he did some stupid song, which always made me laugh. And he went, oh, I think that I found myself a midfielder. And I can't remember what it was about, the midfielder. It might have been James Milner or something. But it just always sticks in my mind. But I hope you've all had a good start to the week. I suppose the good thing about Monday Night Football is that a lot of people don't like Monday in work, do they? So at least you've got a match to get you through. Otherwise, Monday night can be quite boring, can't it? Zoom into Mark's mouth while he's talking. It's amazing to look at, says Benny. That sounds really, really sus. Relax, Mark. You ain't that big. You're a no one in TV, says Stuart Bates. Stuart... thanks for spending £2 being a hater. You're very welcome on the channel, and I love that sort of comment. But I think this is how big we are as a community. Aston Villa have got a TikTok page. Check out their last 10 TikToks and see which one got 1.1 million views and how everything and everything else got nowhere near. We're massive. It was a That's Football clip basically on the Aston Villa TikTok. So we're massive. We get more views than most of the mainstream, and it's a fact, Stuart. So if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. But plenty of people do like the community, and that's the bottom line. In fact, I think I'm the only person on TalkSport who actually has a show called after them. So I don't like to boast about what we've built, but we have built it, and I like reacting. And what I like the most is how it winds people up that I've never met and never intend on meeting, but it really winds them up. But we built it together, and that's the positive. 77% of you have gone with a Tottenham win. Fulham 13%, a draw 10. I think that's a bit high. I do think that's a bit high. 78% now. It's getting higher. Richarlison or Martial? Oh, that is a great either or from Kareem. Kareem, you may well have. I like an either or that's close. Some people get selfish with them and say Arsenal or Norwich because they just want to feel good about Arsenal. But I like a Kulusevski Bowen, and I like a Martial Richarlison. This is close. When you think about it, it's close. Let us know your thoughts there on that one. But I've got Son in the FPL. I could do with him doing quite well, but I guess we'll wait and see. Have I got my timer ready? I have. There we go. What is Saturday Watchalong, says Dale. You know what? That gets me excited, Dale. So I will check it out for you in a moment. I don't know at the moment. But Fulham are going to kick this off. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think we did hit 46,000, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's Anthony Taylor. Anthony Taylor's the ref. Anthony Taylor. His mum doesn't do his hair. In fairness, mum jokes are never funny. I don't think saying your mum does your hair is a mum joke. Some of the mum jokes we used to do at school were terrible. There was one lad in our class who just couldn't deal with mum jokes. Like, if you said something like... I don't know. I can't think of any mum jokes now. But you could say like, your mum would give a blow job for a packet of skips. He'd lose it. He'd absolutely lose it. You know, even though it's a joke and it's a mum joke, he'd absolutely lose it. He'd try and punch her and get detention. Just couldn't deal with it at all. Don't listen to the hate, Mark. Keep up the great work, says Uncertainty. But I don't think his mum does his hair is a mum joke. I take it on board that his mum might be dead. So his mum can't do his hair. It's just more of a mummy's boy. Mummy's boy thing, isn't it? My geography isn't good, Mark. Where are we tonight, says Ben. We're in London, Ben. Oh, I love it. I love it. We're in London. We're in London, aren't we? We're in London. We're in London. Leno or Jose? Come on, keep him back. Martial is beating Richarlison here at the moment. Gordon or Mudryk? It's got to be Gordon at the moment, Foster. That's easy. Here's Son. Good win. Good 50. Oh, he's not seen that there. I like the fact that Son plays centre forward for Spurs. Because I've got him in my fantasy Premier League team as a midfielder. So it's like, you know, it's a free hit. Anthony Taylor says play on. Son is in. Oh, he could have bloody scored, Son. He could have scored. Oh, he probably should have bloody scored. Oh, let's go Spurs. Big up Ange all the way from Australia, says Nate. Well, I don't know whether you listen to the podcast, Goldbridge Saves Football, but Will thinks he can do a really good Ange impression. I think mine is better. How to deal with a teacher you don't like, says Cameron. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do what I did. I used to get into big trouble. But Son, I think he's tried to lob Leno. Leno's done quite well. Are Southampton coming back, says Big Man. I don't know. I really don't know. But, you know, I can do a bit of Ange. You know, we're really trying to get into we're really trying to win the Premier League, you know. And I don't think Harry Kane being here or not here really makes a massive amount of difference, you know. I'm sounding like I'm from Somerset, but I meant to be from Australia. I couldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else. But yeah, we're doing good. Madison there. Yeah, I'm rubbish. Will is better. Biggest team in Sheffield, says Adam. Well, I've always preferred Wednesday. I can't do Australian. Put a barbie on the shrimp. I wouldn't give a Castlemaine 4X for anything else. It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't think there's an accent I can do anymore. I'm losing my accent. It's like losing your hair. I can do Sean Dyche. Goldbridge, stop trying to do Ange and just do Sean Dyche. That's your bread and butter and your gravel. You know, you can't be a master of everything. You're good at Sean Dyche. Stick to what you're good at. And I was robbed at the weekend in Liverpool. Some would say that's bound to happen, but you don't expect it. Now you're sounding like Tyson Fury's dad. What's going on, Tyson? Tyson, what's going on? Can I do Klopp? No. Sound like Fred Elliott now, says James. Fred Elliott, there's a blast from the past. There is a blast from the past. I'm a machine. I'm a machine, Tyson. I get up every morning and have a run, and I've done it for 90 years. Have a cup of tea and think about leaving the house. I sometimes feed the birds. I sometimes feed the sparrows too. It gives me an enormous sense of well-being, and then I'm happy for the rest of the day, Tyson. Safe in the knowledge there will always be a part of my life committed to it. All the people. Your best South American accent, good old country. I can't do Americans' flaws. I can't do it. We're in London, aren't we? We're in London, Tyson. We're in London, aren't we? I can't really do it. I'm trying to do Dyche. Players from Barcelona you'd love to see at Man United. Kareem, you've let yourself down there. I'm not massively into... your mum's so fat she couldn't fast travel in Skyrim, says ODL. I think there used to be one. Your mum's so fat she rolls over and wakes up in a new postcode. They were good at the time. Now they are mummist and fattest, which I hate. Do an Irish accent, says Dylan. Oh, it's all started now. Here is a lovely bit of play here. Adogi, he should have got a free kick there. He's got to give a free kick. He's just letting it go here. You should do Elastico. You should do El Clasico watch along next Saturday, says AK. I'm going to have a look in a minute. Spurs have started off. Oh, that's another foul there on Maddison. Nice feet. Yeah, definitely a foul. Definitely a foul. The weekend of fixtures I haven't even looked at yet because I'm doing Man United tomorrow night, Champions League Newcastle on Wednesday night on this channel. But weekend fixtures are Palace Tottenham Friday night. I won't do that. Well, I don't know why I won't. I don't really. I hate Friday night football. I hate Friday night football. I'll tell you that for free. I do not like Friday night football. I do not like Friday night football, Batman. Batman. I do not like Friday night football. Over the bar from, I think it was Van der Ven. It came to him on the 6-yard box. He's put it over the bar. He probably thinks he should do a bit better there. But it's from a set piece. And good header back by Romero. Centre-backs combining. Just can't keep it down. I do not like Friday night football, Batman. I do not like Friday night football. I will not bury another Batman. Penalty. Free kick. He's giving something. He's giving a free kick. Right on the edge of the box. Right on the edge of the box. It will be VAR reviewed. I think it's edge of the box when he gets fouled. Yeah, it's easy edge of the box. Easy edge of the box. Porro. Robinson. Stamps on his foot. Yeah, you can't argue with that. Honest opinions on Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mark, says Oliver. Honest opinions are that very good going forward. Suspect at the back. It's like a naked butcher with an apron on. Villa or Brighton, says Jack. Well, Martial's beat Richarlison in your first either or of the night. I've got a little competition a little bit later, either ors. Starts from the quarterfinals and works its way through. But we've got Villa or Brighton. Who will finish higher? I think Brighton have got a better squad than Villa. Anyway, free kick on the edge of the box for Spurs. Can you do a Newcastle accent, says Paul? Not really. Spooky. Why I Antondek? Why I? I can he do it? That's Scottish. It is close to Newcastle. As a Brighton fan, it's Villa, says Lewis. Here we go, free kick. And will it go for a corner? No. Spurs still have it. I will not bury another Wayne, Batman, says Luke. Oh, I know, Luke. I'm having a laugh. It's called poetic license. Luke's not happy because I said, I will not bury another Batman. I will not bury another Wayne. Master Wayne. I will not bury another Wayne. Master Wayne. Here we go. Kulusevski. No. Cuts off. Cut back, not there. And an offside. Tyrrell back for us soon. Will be good. And then Luke says Ronnie Dodger. We're in London, Jack. We're in London. Do you think Villa can finish top 4 this season, says Goat? I said it yesterday. I think it was a good analogy. Villa fans, they're in a very, very, very... They're enjoying a great journey and they're on the road to somewhere they want to go. The question is, will they run out of petrol before they get there? And that's the same for Spurs as well. I think Villa and Spurs, if they could pick the same 11 every week, they'd be title contenders. But I think we know what happens with a few injuries. It could become a problem. So really, it comes down to what happens with injuries and stuff. But Spurs looking for that early goal here. And I'm a big advocate of this. When you're playing at home, if you can get the goal, if you can score in the first 20 minutes, it makes your job a lot easier. But here we go, Fulham on the attack. Good defending by Romero. Best overseas trip you've ever had, says Flores. Best overseas trip. That's a weird question, really. I mean, I like Mallorca, and it is overseas, so I like going to Mallorca, yeah. Probably my first lads' holiday, Mallorca, was pretty good. Would you take Ollie Watkins at United, says Juice World? Yes. Yeah. Even if it was just for a bench option. Header, goal! What a save! What a save that is! What a save by the Spurs keeper there. He's clawed that out. I'm saying goal. What a save. Look at this. Great head. Oh, that's a brilliant save. What's his name? Fernando. Rodrigo. Vicario. That's it. Vicario. I need it for Twitter. Incredible. Incredible save that is. Wrists. Like titanium. We know what he does in his spare time. Very strong wrists there. Paul Pogba or Jimmy Bollard, says Dan V. Come on, be respectful. 64% went for Villa over Brighton. Is that recency biased? Are Brighton just not the hipsters at the moment and Villa are? I think there's something to be said there. Toner's pub in Dublin is quality, says Dominic. It is. I used to go and get my dinner there. It was just down the road from the office I worked at, Merrion Row. I haven't been in there for ages. I was in Doheny and Nesbitt's last time I was in Dublin, which was a nice trip down memory lane, but I haven't been into Toner's for a long time. Vicario is a top keeper, BB. He's been a very, very good signing for the Spurs. Anana's never saving that, says Jordan. What? I don't really understand that mentality. I'm not picking on you, Jordan, although you probably are going to get picked on. I don't understand that mentality in football where somebody does something good and then a fan instantly goes, he wouldn't be able to do that. So, Saka puts it in the top left-hand corner. Son wouldn't be able to do that. It's I don't really get it. If you're having sex with a woman, presuming you'd like to, do you go, your ex couldn't do this? The thing is, he probably could, and better. But it is a bit weird, isn't it? It is a bit weird the way we do that in football. Somebody does something good, and for certain fans, the mind wanders to, yeah, he couldn't do that. Saliba makes a tackle. Yeah, Van Dijk couldn't do that. If we're being honest, we probably all think about what exes could do and where you rank. It's a league table we'll never know. In fact, I wouldn't even like there to be a league table. If there's a league table, you're with the wrong person. Where would imagine if you said to your missus or your mister, where would you rank me in the bedroom department? And they went, well, you're in the professional leagues. What do you mean? Well, I wouldn't quite put you in the National League, but I'd put you in League 2. How many partners have you had? All I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, is it's not about how many times you hit the dartboard. It's about how many bullseyes you hit. Quality over quantity. It's not about how many appearances you have for Liverpool. It's about how many caps you have for England. That doesn't work. A lot of Liverpool people don't like it. It's not about how many clubs you have. It's about how many trophies you win. There you go. Not that I've ever won a trophy in that area. I mean, if we're giving out trophies, I probably would. But anyway, I'm digging here. What's the relegation battle on that, says Corn. Yeah. I presume European qualification is based on delivering. Oh no, come on! This is meant to be a watch along. Leave it. Leave it. I need another either or. I think Brighton win the Europa League, and the 6 Premier League teams get in the Champions League, says Blicky. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works this year. I don't know. Good energy from Spurs. Again, we know, I was talking about this before the international break, the amount of work they put in is top of the league. Aidan says, how's John from across the road from you, and what happened to the cooking? Mate, I just don't have the time to do it. I mean, I actually thought when the summer transfer window changed that I would. But, you know, we're now nearly in November and I still haven't done a cooking with Goldbridge. It really annoys me. Will United get top 4? I don't think so, Alan. Well, yeah. I mean, look, if you say United... Do I think United can get top 4? Yes, I think they've got the players to do it. Do I think they will get top 4? You can only go on recency bias. No. Aidan says, will you do Coronation Street or EastEnders? I will. I don't watch either, so this is simply for those who do. I sometimes turn it on at Christmas. Well, I don't. It's sometimes put on at Christmas, and by Christmas Day night, you could put fucking Peppa Pig on and I'd be happy. I'm just basically full and drinking wine, and that's it. Can Chelsea get European football if they sign Osman in January, says Max? Depends how far they're off. I mean, the thing about Chelsea is, it reminds me a bit of my EAFC career mode today. Very good stream today. Got a couple of wins, but because of the bad start to the season, can't afford to be drawing. Got to keep winning. And Chelsea can take a lot of credit from what they did against Arsenal. They should have won the game. But the thing is, should have won the game doesn't help you when the league table looks like that. When you've got 12 points and most of the league are 8 or 9 points ahead of you. So that's the problem Chelsea have got. They've got to play catch up. And incredibly, when they're trying to play catch up and they have found a bit of form, their next few games are Brentford, Spurs, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton, Manchester United. So they've got a lot. I think Chelsea by Christmas could be double points off top 4 just because of the fixtures they've got and the bad start to the season. So yeah, I think Chelsea look a lot better, and I think they're going to be more competitive. But they've now got to go and win games against decent teams. They dropped bad points, didn't they, Chelsea? You know, losing to teams like Forest, etc. Which they deserve to do. Can you do Jared Bowen or Ollie Watkins? Yeah, Jacob, I can. And Kepa or Lloris says just Ollie 1. Thank you very much. Well, it's that I don't like doing crap ones. EastEnders and Coronation Street, but I will do it in a minute. But EastEnders and Coronation Street are locked here at the moment. Locked down. After 9 games, can we get a top 4 and bottom 3 predictions? Is TMAF. We can do. Lovely play by Willie Ann here. We can do, but I can't remember what my top 4 prediction was at the start of the season. I think my top 4 at the moment is probably the top 4 as it is, although I do worry about Spurs. Fulham are doing well, you know. Fulham are doing well. What do you think about Norwich? I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know what the Championship looks like. And let me have a quick look. Championship. Corner to Fulham. Pereira's on it. The cross is straight to the keeper. So, I mean, Leicester are going to just get promoted, aren't they? They've got 33 points and third place are 11 points behind them. So, Leicester are going to get promoted very, very easily. Ipswich are second, and they're 6 points clear of Leeds and 7 points clear of Preston. So, at the moment, Ipswich and Leicester are looking very, very... I mean, Ipswich is a great story, isn't it? Playoffs is very condensed. Sunderland, Southampton, Preston, Leeds. Norwich are around there. Bristol, Birmingham, West Brom. Middlesbrough have won 5 in a row. They're the form team. Something's going on here. As soon as you get me to look away, something's going on here. Let's have a look. Adogi's down. Polina, let's have a look. He's stretching. It's right in front of Anthony Taylor. I don't think that's a red. But no, he's not. I don't think he's even booked him. Naughty tackle, says Kevin. I don't think he booked him. I don't think he did. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there was a yellow card for that. I was looking at it whether I thought he was going to get a yellow. EastEnders beat Coronation Street. Rachel or Monica, says Stu. Come on. That's like comparing prime Man United to prime Stoke. All due respect to Monica, but prime Rachel was elite. And prime Monica was championship. Come on. Prime Rachel, our friends, was an icon of that era. She had the haircut. Everybody fancied her. Who's Rachel? Says Snaps. It's like an episode of Only Fools and Horses. Who's Rachel? From Friends. Rachel, Monica and Phoebe. I mean, poor Phoebe. National League. Robert De Niro or Al Pacino, says Luke. I can't answer that question. I'm just having a stretch here. Roy Cropper or Phil Mitchell, says Aidan. If Luton stay up, should Edwards get manager of the year? 100% Luton, 1-2-3-1. Dirty Den, Zoe and Dennis, best EastEnders storyline ever. Don't even remember it, Nelly. I'll tell you what, this is an absolute prime example of, you know, when you're the home team, you do need to score in the first half an hour to give you that momentum. And Fulham are making it difficult for Spurs at the moment. They're a threat on the break and they're well organised at the back. This is the quality of the Premier League. There is no easy game. Pam was hotter. What, Pam from the bloody Office? Pam from The Office against Rachel from Friends. You're having a laugh. Pam was okay. I'd say Pam from The Office was like Brighton. Everybody liked her, but, you know, was doing the best with the resources she had. Whereas Rachel from Friends is very much Real Madrid. I love making things about football. I love it. I've always done it. If you could take one Spurs player for your team right now, who would it be? Says GD. Oh, I think you'd struggle not to take Son, really. But I do like Van der Ven. He's very much impressed me. I like Basuma, yeah, but I'd probably take Son. Oh, 1 minute. Who won an FA Cup winners medal with United and Euro 88 winners medal? Says Kenneth Turney. Who won an FA Cup winners medal with United and a Euro 88 winners medal? Says Kenneth Turney. Right. Someone's going to get this before me. So I know who won the Euro 88. Oh, I can't think. It can't be anybody from my era. Johnny Evans. No. Well, it was the Dutch won Euro 88. And all I can think from that team was the goalkeeper was Van Broekelen. And then they had Rijkaard, Hullet, Van Basten, and I don't know any of their players. Fulham in the box here. I'm a living in a box. I'm a living in a cardboard box. I'm a living in a box. Pam from The Office is like Leeds, overrated and annoying, says the HPN. Ooh. It wasn't De Boer. It's 88. I don't think the De Boers were playing then. It's got to be. I was going to say Jesper Olsen, but he's Dutch. He's Danish, so it's got to be. And it's got to be an early 80s, mid 80s Man United player who then ended up playing in 88. And I would be too young for that. Way too young for that. Any Spurs or Fulham fans, players in your FPL marks as Little Dragon? Yeah, I've got Son. A lot of people are saying Arnold Muren, and I think that probably makes sense. Good shot from the edge of the box by Højbjerg, but it's straight at the keeper. I like those. I'm going to give you a little bit of a quiz, actually. I'm going to come up with one in a minute. Arnold Muren. He was 72. He's 72 now. He wasn't 72 when he played in the 88 Euros. He played for Manchester United between 1982 and 1985, and he did win 88. Yeah, it's him. I'd have no idea. I'd have no idea who he is. I'm going to give you one, so to speak. I like that from the HPN. Okay, I've got one for you. See if you can get your lips around... Not this. No, that's the wrong saying. See if you can get your heads around this. I retired from football at Everton. That's your first clue. I retired from football at Everton. It's not Phil Neville. I retired from football at Everton. I was a bit of a pin-up, so it's definitely not Phil Neville. You set me up there. You set me up there. But look, some people were saying I didn't even, you serve it up, I'll ace it. So he retired at Everton, and he was a bit of a pin-up. Somebody still said Phil Neville. Look, I suppose some people might think he is. It's not Cahill. Was he a bit of a pin-up? It's not Kermit the Frog either. Let me give you a better clue. So, retired at Everton, was a bit of a pin-up. His club before Everton was Aston Villa. So, pin-up, Aston Villa, Everton were his last two clubs. Forget Rachel, Mark. Madge from Benidorm says, I preferred Madge from EastEnders. Richarlison! Oh, I thought he'd scored there. Ashley Young. No, that's a good guess, but it's not Ashley Young. And Ashley Young's not retired yet. I know his performances this season would suggest he has. He's still playing. I'll give you... Look, he was before... Right, his last three clubs were Everton, Aston Villa and Tottenham. In fact, I'll give you his Premier League clubs. Newcastle, Tottenham, Villa, Everton. And he was a pin-up. You should get it now. Newcastle, Tottenham, Villa, Everton, and he was a pin-up. And somebody's got it in the chat. He's French. Snaps. Electri. Alec Williams. A few of you got it. Of course, it was David Ginola. I like those. Thank you. Well done to me. I like playing them, though. Who do you think is the best Premier League player ever, Mark? Says Brad. I personally think it's Ronaldo. I do think it's Ronaldo. I think it is Ronaldo. You could say Henry, but I think Ronaldo was unbelievable in those years before he went to Madrid. So I think it would be between Henry and Ronaldo. But it would be unfair to not mention people like Wayne Rooney, Roy Keane, Steven Gerrard. There's another one. Alan Shearer. There's some good ones out there. Mark, the fact you said Phoebe was National League is a crime, says Sam. I just think it's the character she plays. I know, just not for me. I'd probably rather Chandler than Phoebe. I'm joking. I didn't realise it was Sir Bobby that named Old Trafford the Theatre of Dreams. I spent the whole day with Sir Bobby when he came to our sports shop and even took him to dinner. Absolute legend, says Mandy. Lovely story, Mandy. Lovely story, and thank you for sharing it with us. Who's the oldest outfield player to ever appear in a Premier League match? I know that, Adam. I know that one. Outfield player. I do know that. I got told it the other week. Was it Ryan Giggs? Good interception. Kulusevski tackled. I tell you what, Fulham are tackling really well. Now they're coming away. Willian slips him in. Oh, and a bad pass. Good interception by Romero. Neb, thank you very much. I don't know the answer. I said Giggs. A lot of people are saying Gareth Barry, Teddy Sheringham, Phil Jagielka. Oh, I think that I found myself a... Ladios says, nice hoodie. You can... Oh, no, you can't get these. I was going to say, you can get them at the United Stand Shopify shop. No, you can't. You can probably get them at Gant. I forget what hoodies I'm wearing. Madison. Straight at the keeper. Thanks for the super chats tonight, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You're very welcome on That's Football. It's been a good game so far. Ooh, do you think that? Nah, you can't get a handball for that, can you? It's by his side, Bassey. I don't know why when I say the word Bassey. Oh, I know what I'm thinking of. Goldfinger. He's the man with the Midas touch. I always find that song a bit sexual. Shirley Bassey, great voice, but as soon as I heard it, I thought, Goldfinger, the man with the Midas touch. And I just thought, what's he doing with that finger? And was it actually gold, or he was so good with his finger that she went, your finger's so good, I'm going to call it Goldfinger. I wonder which finger it was. Middle one? Thumb? What's the best case scenario for our Champions League group, says Rupp. Qualification. I think Fulham are doing really well here. I do. Yellow card for Porro. Shaw or Robertson, Mark, says Liam. It's a great one. I'm gonna throw it to the masses. I think I know the answer, but I don't think it will be as close as it should be because I think one of them is massively underrated. Mark Goldfinger, says Enrique. Shirley Bassey did not write it about me, and I can honestly say, if she had, Son. Oh, what a goal by Son! I've got him in my FPL team. That's why I'm celebrating. But that's how you finish. He hasn't got a gold finger, he's got a gold foot, and he's had a golden boot to go with it before, and he might be on track for doing it again, although I've just remembered about Erling Haaland. But that is a cracker by Son, and he could have hit it before, he could have done it before, but he did a bit of a fake shot to open it up, and then edge of the box. You know what? for me, that was a bit like a tap-in for Son because he's just got such a good right foot. What a hit by Son. We're talking about gold fingers and it's golden feet. He's miles onside as well. Don't worry about that. But look at that. He went to shoot and look at that finish. Look at that for a finish. It's really, really, really good. Richarlison with the assist. I've got Son in my fancy Premier League team and he's got a goal. Lovely finish. Lovely finish. Mark, do you think with Pep or Klopp, look at the technique on this. Head down, bang. Bang. He's not even looking at the goal. There's a technique for you. He's not even looking at the goal. He's looking at how I want to kick the ball. Mark, do you think with Pep or Klopp as manager at United, you would have won more silverware last few years, says GD? Not necessarily. I think United's a big job. Could you see the likes of Varane, Casemiro and Martial going to the Saudi League? Yes, Robble, I could. There will be another wave next year. And 876J has just given a super chat as well. You're a legend, mate. You're a legend. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Shirley Bassey might even... I don't think she's dead. She's 86. So, for me, for Shirley... Because somebody said Goldbridge, Goldfinger. And she sang Goldfinger. So, for me to be Goldfinger, Shirley Bassey is 86. There's well over 40 years between us. And for me to be consensual, she'd have had to be 60. And that, I'm just not doing that. So, no. Definitely not. Definitely not. Great singer, though. Classic songs such as Goldfinger, Big Spender. Hey, big spender, spend a little time with me. Get a job, you sponge. Something, don't know what that is. Diamonds are forever. Diamonds are forever. Don't like that one, actually. It's crap. Moonraker, don't remember that. Climb Every Mountain, bit crap. Yeah, basically it's Big Spender, which is just basically, you know, a sponge. And Goldfinger, which is better, which is her best song. Goldfinger's your best one. Madison with the cross, headed away. Mark, who would you most want to interview in footballer? Name a footballer, owner, CEO, or pundit, says Pete. I'd quite like to interview Mourinho, you know. I think he's... People say Ronaldo, Messi, but I think both brilliant players, but they're so brand safe. You're never going to get anything interesting out of Ronaldo and Messi. You're not. And I think that whilst they are the two most iconic footballers of our generation, the interview's not going to be good because they're not going to give you anything. So I would always want to do an interview with somebody who's going to give you something. You know, be honest. I was talking about this earlier. Do you reckon peak Kaka was better than Neymar? I think you're probably right, Tony. Certainly did more with his career. Maddison, Son, this is great football. He's going to score. Oh, is it? Oh, my God. What a block. Højbjerg. Hi, Mark. What do you think of Pedro Neto as a Man City player? I think he is quintessential winger that would suit Pep's system. Yes, Finn. I think Neto and Matoma have got Man City written all over them. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Cracking game going on. Son has scored for Spurs. Fulham, little bit like West Ham Villa yesterday. I think Fulham have done all right. I thought West Ham did all right yesterday, but Villa have just been were too good for West Ham, and I think Spurs are just on a different level at the moment to Fulham. Classic Halloween films. Interview with the Vampire. My favourite Halloween film is Scream. Son. Kulusevski. Fulham win it. Not Halloween. Scream. the energy that Spurs put into these performances is great. And I tell you what, the scary thing about Spurs is they top the statistical tarts. They top the statistical stats for things like closing down, etc. But they're only playing one game a week, so there's a great chance that they can keep this up through the season because they're only playing one game a week. Most memorable end-to-end game, Liverpool v Norwich 5-4, says Peter Dunn. I know. I think my most memorable end-to-end game that I watched was that Liverpool-Newcastle 4-3. That was incredible. Three questions you would ask Ten Hag if you met him, says Mandy. Oh, Mandy, you came and you gave without taking, and you sent me away, oh, Mandy. That's a good song, Mandy. Well done. That's not what you asked. Three questions I would ask Ten Hag. You'd have to answer them, Mandy. Is he going to answer them honestly? I'd say, what players would you love to sell but you can't? Because that would be an interesting answer. How crap are Man United's recruitment team and board compared to Ajax? That's 2. And what's your favourite meal? I'd like to know. Richarlison! Oh, lovely cross. He could have had 2 assists there. I'll tell you what, Richarlison on the left wing and Son up front. It's better than Richarlison up front and Son on the left wing. I'm Ronnie Peckering, says Doctor Strange. Lovely cross by Richarlison. Had a little bit too much on it. Passed the CPA exam, Mark. When can we get to the pub for a few drinks, says Stephen. If the drinks are on you, Stephen, tell me the pub. As long as it's within walking distance. Good evening, Mark, says Yannick. I actually had the idea for you to invite Mourinho to the podcast. I believe that he'd give you a very good and honest chat. Yeah, Yannick, I don't think Goldbridge Saves Football is going to be at the top of Jose Mourinho's wish list. And I'd suspect he gets paid at least 50 grand. You know where he's going to be on? Mourinho will be on Stick to Football with Neville and co. And they'll give him 50 grand to do it because he's got the money. It's all about the money, money, money. Look, I could say to him, it'll be a better interview with me, but I can't afford the money. Mark, you should watch The Last Voyage of the Dem Tumbleweed. That sounds scary. Willian, left-hand side, bit of space, into the box. Terrible touch. I haven't watched the latest Scream, but I've seen a spoiler, and I don't like it, Joel. I don't like it. It's a bit like killing James Bond. What Robertson done for Scotland as a catalyst for us is why I'd pick him. Still love Shaw. Yeah, Robertson's got 56% of the vote, and Luke Shaw has got 44%. So we'll close that one off. If you get any better ones, let me know. Thanks, Jack. Spurs on the break here with Romero. Need some support. Lovely ball. Kulusevski. Oh, Son wanted a penalty, Maddison. They're almost trying to pass it in there. They should have made it 2. Beckham or Trent, says Condiment King. You'll get blocked. You're lucky the chat's busy. If I go back and find you, you're going to get blocked for that. Beckham or Trent. Bloody hell. That's like saying, who do you prefer, your mum or the milkman? Who could be your dad. I have watched the Beckham documentary, Lewis. I basically gobbled it up as soon as it came out. I'm not going to lie. So it'd be interesting if Fulham get a goal back in this. I mean, it feels like Spurs will do it, but he wants a penalty. No, Anthony Taylor's not having it. I don't think it was a penalty either here. I don't think it was a penalty. Højbjerg has gone into Bassi, but I don't think it is. Let's have a look. No, not a penalty for me, that. Let's have a look again. Well, technically he does knock the ball past him. But I don't think it's a penalty. It's not been given. The missus has told me to leave. What should I do? Says Phil. Depends what you've done, Phil. What have you done for her to tell you to leave? I can't give advice when there's two sides to a story. 20-year-old Ronaldo or 20-year-old Ronaldo 9? Oh, Avalon. It's one of the best questions I've ever heard. In fact, I'm going to put it as a poll. I think it's a cracker. I think it's an absolute cracker. And also, they both stay fit, yeah? Because obviously we know what happens with R9. Or do they just stay 20 forever? Forever young. I want to be forever young. Do you really want to stay forever? Forever and ever. Fulham have got a free kick here. I've upset Man City fans today because I said Ruben Diaz is overrated. It's called an opinion. It's fine. The tribute United Stand did for Sir Bobby tears, says Odie. Yeah, I mean, look, I recorded that a few years ago. It was a poem about Sir Bobby, and I never knew that we weren't going to end up using it for what it is. But I just think it fits really well. And I love the music, which I think is... I can't remember what the music is. I think it's on that film Sunshine or Shine by somebody. But yeah, it's nice. And it was a privilege. It's had 100,000 views, which is great because, you know, the man is a legend. And I'd love people to see it if they want to see it. I'll actually whack it in the live chat. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. It is half time. It's half time here. And it is... I'll whack it in the chat. There we go. If you want to listen to it, you can. It's there. I'll pin it as well. Phil says, well, Mark, her mum has been staying with us for a week now. A couple of hours ago, I had enough and told her to leave. Now the missus has kicked me out. You can't, mate, on a serious note, like, you know, having your mother-in-law stay with you for more than 48 hours, I think is an illness. I don't think they realise how hard it is. So, yeah, I think we've all got sympathy, and I would say I'm not leaving. My behaviour will improve now your mother-in-law is gone. I wouldn't think it's fair. I hope your mother-in-law's got somewhere to go. You can't kick her out of the streets. In our poll at the moment, 56% are going for 20-year-old Ronaldo 9, and 20-year-old Ronaldo has got 44%. Interesting. He was a good player, R9, but I'd still go Ronaldo. Let's have a look at that league table, and that is how it looks for Spurs at the moment. It's changed. All right, that's fine. I don't mind that too much. Stats are 66% possession for Spurs, 10 shots to 5, 4 shots on target to 1, double the amount of passes, a far better pass completion rate. I mean, that is Spurs at the moment. It's not a coincidence. They are relentless in the work that they do. And I would advise you to check the One Football individual stats because they are incredible. If you want to get One Football, actually, links in the video description, or you can scan the QR code in the top right hand corner. They provide us with our stats carousel. It's free to download. All your latest breaking football news, scores, etc., transfer news, But also, they have match stats for every game, and they individualise the stats as well. So you can click in on a player and see how they're doing. Obviously, Son's goal is dividing the teams at the moment. Spurs winning 1-0. A great goal by Son. Took it so well. And that's how the league table looks at the moment. And that's why it's so important for Spurs. And I think the way they're playing at the moment, they will win. But look at that league table, 23 points. They're not there on goal difference. They're there on merit. And of course, Liverpool might look at it and go, if the PGMOL knew their arse from their elbow, it could be us on 23 points and Spurs on 20. But look, you can't take it away from Spurs. They've done fantastically well. And as I've said before, the interesting thing about Spurs at the moment is, yes, they are top of the league, but their next 3 Premier League games are rather interesting. They play Palace away, tough, Chelsea at home, and then Wolves away, and then Villa at home. So it's starting to get a little bit more challenging for Spurs, but the way they're playing at the moment, I think they'll probably be up for those challenges. Joe says, Mark, you have to come on a lads' holiday with me and my mate Preston to Benidorm. It will be mint. Opportunity of a lifetime for you, trust me, says Joe. In another life, I think it'd be really interesting. We could vlog it and it would probably do a few thousand views, but I'm just not going to be allowed. I'm not going to be allowed to go and do that sort of thing. Benidorm, no. Not going to be allowed. It's not going to happen, let's be honest. But, hey, have a good time. Let us know how it goes. Can Fulham get back into this? Probably not. But look, West Ham got back into it for a brief bit. I think that Fulham are a good side. They're well organised. But I just think Spurs at the moment, they're grabbing the opportunity that's in front of them, and I don't think they've got any intention of slowing down. The work rate is incredible. The Son finish here again is just lovely. The way he shapes to shoot and then shifts his body, and then that's just a classic Son finish. It's almost his signature move, isn't it, on the right foot, the way he does that. Absolutely fantastic. And deservedly so at the moment. Spurs in the lead, 1-0. And looking at another 3 points in the Premier League. I've lost my live chat here. It will be back. Don't worry. I will find it. Oh, come on. Cracking first half as well. Not just in relation to the game. Also, I loved the Shirley Bassey conversation. Goldfinger. Absolutely loved that. And great to see the banter in the chat as per usual. Get your questions in. It is half time. Not a lot to discuss in the Spurs game. They've shaded it and been deserved leaders so far. Quite liked Richarlison playing off the left-hand side, if I'm being honest. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're going to end the poll on Ronaldo versus R9. This is based on which 20-year-old would you take, Ronaldo or R9. Does sound a little bit sus. It wasn't my either or. I mean, what we're going to do with these 20-year-olds is stick them in a football team. It's not, to go out on a date or anything like that. Never go on holiday with your in-laws. No winners, says Oddie. Yeah. I know, I've got friends who do that, and they enjoy it. What's your favourite Eminem song, says Ben. I like that one where he goes, you lose me, you lose yourself, you lose it all. Dun, 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 dun. I can't remember what it is. From LA, Benidorm is incredible, says Chris. And if you had to live anywhere outside the UK, where would you live? Dublin, Jack, or Mallorca? You mentioned tactics evolving in a video recently, says Jesse, specifically in regards to goalkeepers. Any insight on how you think tactics will change and which teams do you think will benefit the most, says Jesse. How many siblings have you got, Mark? 3, DJ. And Spurs finish above Arsenal, says Connor. I think it's an interesting battle. Who is Spurs penalty taker, says Max. We'll have to ask the chat for that. Who is Spurs penalty taker? Who is Spurs penalty taker? Audrey says, greetings from USA. Your show has helped me in more ways than I can describe. So many things you've said have been great advice. Cheers, mate. Keep being you. Thanks, Audrey. Love that. Son takes penalties. Good. That's great news. In relation to tactical evolution, I've just observed something, as I'm sure many of you have, that every manager seems to have an obsession with a ball-playing goalkeeper at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. Ten Hag's done it, got rid of a good goalkeeper to put Onana in. Arteta's done it so far, got rid of a good goalkeeper to put Raya in, and everybody is playing out from the back at the moment. But the problem is, with anything in life, if you know somebody's going to do something, you can prepare for it. And no system in football is unstoppable. So my theory on football is that it's going to evolve. And I think we're seeing more and more. I'm just stretching my back out. I think we're going to see more and more. I'm not shagging the chair. I'm miles off. Look. I'm stretching like that. I'm creating a tunnel. Not that sort. But I think that we will see an evolution in football because everybody plays out from the back. What Man United players have you met, says Mandy. I'll come back to that. Everybody's playing out from the back. So if everybody's playing out from the back, if I'm playing Arsenal and they're playing out from the back, and Liverpool are playing out from the back, and Man United are playing out from the back, then I'm going to press from the front with a higher line. So, and if we become good pressers from the front, then teams are going to make more mistakes playing out from the back. The reason teams started playing out from the back was for possession. If you play out from the back, you've got possession. You play through the lines, you work up the pitch, you've got possession. The risk of playing out from the back is if you lose possession, they're already in the final third. So teams are becoming really good at pressing collectively now. They didn't used to be. Teams didn't used to press well from the front, which is why Pep and other managers found it easy to play through the press. You look at Brighton this year, they've conceded quite a few goals from mistakes passing out from the back. And Liverpool have, and other teams have. So I think there's going to be an evolution in football. I think there's going to be a change in football. And I think it's going to change into a more... I think you've got to be... I think if you play out from the back all the time, then everyone knows what you're going to do. I think you've got to mix it up. So I think we'll see an evolution where teams start mixing up the way they play out from the back. Sometimes they go long. And also the second thing that I really want to see happen in football, and has to happen, is that nobody takes anyone on anymore. If you look at Jack Grealish at Man City and you look at Jack Grealish at Villa, he's a different player. At Villa, he had the licence to run at people and make things happen. At Man City, he doesn't. And the reason for that is that teams are so well organised now, it's about possession. You pass, you go backwards, you go forwards, you go backwards to go forwards. It's pass, possession. That's how everybody plays. And it's effective. You can play through the line, you can work your way up the pitch by passing. But I actually think we need more players who can go past somebody. It's not dead. The ability to go past somebody needs to come back, and I think it will. And the genius of that is if I'm playing Man City and I've got one or two players in my midfield who can go past people, if I go past Kovacic, Rodri's got to come towards me, and that means he's got to leave somebody else. So I think that there is evolution in football. I just think at the moment we're locked into this playing out from the back, possession, pass, move, play between the lines. And I think that we've lost we're not lost it, but it's not encouraged to take people on anymore. Even wingers don't do it very often. It's not. I'd like to see people in the midfield like the Zidanes and the Gascoignes who could take people on centrally. We're not even seeing it from wingers anymore. Romero is a lovely defender who deserves more praise, says Rafi. He's having a very good season, Rafi, he is. Gems, can I just say, Legend has gifted 5 memberships there, thank you. What Man United players have you met in real life? I have to answer that from Mandy, because she's made some good contributions tonight. So, what current Man United players have I met in real life? Current Man United players? or general Man United players, because I've met quite a lot of general players generally, but current United players that I've actually met, I can't really say a couple of them, but not really any of them. Would you rather Man United win back-to-back Premier League titles or win Champions League? P.S. It's called soccer, says Dylan. It's called football. I'd rather win 2 Premier Leagues in a row at the moment. Have you ever been to Windsor? No, Prime. I haven't. I'm going to do this one. I've been asked to do this one. I'm going to do this one. Either or. It's an interesting one. I always think it's an interesting one when the answer doesn't jump to mind straight away. Beckham or Salah? Either or. Do you believe that... do you think City will still win the league? Yes. Ibby, I do. Apparently Copenhagen are better ranked than Galatasaray, says Isa. How's your FPL looking, Mark, says Delta? Well, I'd probably be early 60s now because I've got... not my age, you cheeky bastard. I mean, I've got Son. Remember serve and volley in tennis? Used to love that, says Kenneth. Yeah, yes. That's an old style, isn't it? Mark, off topic, says Vinny. We can always go off topic. It's half time. Off topic, would you tolerate the fact that Earth is flat? I think people should look into it, but only using alternative media. Love your work. But, Vinny, it's not flat because it goes around the sun. And it's not a cube, it's a sphere. Instant regret from reading that. Yeah. It's a bit like Rangers or Celtic, isn't it? You just don't want to answer it. Right, we're about to start the second half here. Come on then, start it. There we go. If you could bring one midfielder into from United's history into the current team, who would it be? Well, it's got to be somebody that you've seen, because I think if you said Sir Bobby or someone from the Busby Babes, etc., it's obviously a good answer, but you've never seen them play. So, which in itself would be quite nice. But from what I've seen and what I think United need, I'd probably say a Roy Keane. Lovely little play here. Spurs could score. No, not like that. Not like that. Fulham. Look at the intensity of the Spurs press though. Fulham hit themselves trying to play out from the back. Rodrigo or Saka, says Natty. And do you think Spurs play the best football in the league, says Mohammed? No, I don't think they play the best football in the league. I think they play good football, but I don't think they play the best football in the league. I just think it's very effective at the moment, and it's very, 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 very tenacious and hard-working. But they play good football, but I don't think they play the best football. Who does play the best football, Mark? Well, I think Brighton play good football. Regrettably, Man City play good football. I think Arsenal can play good football. So, Biffa, I didn't ignore... I don't like that. You ignored my super chat. I don't ignore super chats. What's happened is it's gone through the chat when I'm talking about something else or I'm looking at something else. I don't ignore them. That's just rude. Hi, Mark. I've not been to Windsor. Grumpy Old Hecklers says, Rachel's like a fine wine. She's still Premier League. I haven't seen much of her, really. Not that we ever socialised anyway, but you don't really see much of Aniston anymore, do you? I mean, she's still doing stuff, I think. But, yeah, United need to win tomorrow night. Biffa, I'm trying to find it. Probably training people to pass and move is easier than training them to dribble past others. Need to be blessed with physical attributes, says Hal. Just seeing if I've missed any here. Oh, Biffa. What are your thoughts on Big Ange as England manager? I know it's not realistic for the foreseeable, but forward food for thoughts. He brings togetherness and tactics. Too early. Too early. Way too early, you know. Look, I don't think it'll happen, but what if Spurs drop down to 9th by the end of the season? It's a very the danger about this league, and it's happened to Man United and Chelsea, is you can't get away with bad results at the moment. You will drop like a heavy turd in a toilet pan. You will drop, and that's exactly what's happening. That could happen to Spurs, and then suddenly all the Ange hype disappears, doesn't it? It's still early days. So Rafi says, I've done that from Rafi. Even high lines are becoming slightly overrated, says Juan. It was a good question by Jesse, though. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do it. You're very welcome on the not the United stand. This is That's Football. And I'm going to tell you what games I'm doing at the weekend in a moment, because I was asked that ages ago. I just lost my chat there. 1 minute. I'm back now. I mean, look, it's still 1-0 here. 55% went with Beckham. 45% went with Salah. Interesting poll. If Spurs keep okay, winning like they are, and they beat City like they normally do at home, then I think they have a good chance of winning the league, says Crazy Gamer. I think it's way too early. And I think Spurs fans themselves would not even want to think about that at the moment. But look, this game here, 1-0 to Spurs, but the thing about the Premier League is we don't actually get that many 1-0s. If United go out the Champions League, you want Europa or not, says Flash. Yeah, I would. I mean, I don't want to think about Thursday night football again, but United just don't seem to be able to do it. You know, it's like a bloody long-lost relative, isn't it? We can't leave it alone. We just can't leave it alone. But yeah, I'd rather be in the Europa League than completely out of the Champions League, because if you win the Europa League, you're back in the Champions League, and that might be... It's weird. I always think it's weird, because I think this happened with Spurs last year. Most people would say Man United have got no chance of winning the Champions League. And most people would say they've got very little chance of getting top 4. So the best chance of... Oh, lovely ball into Richarlison. Terrible finish. Most people would say that the best chance for Manchester United, therefore, to qualify for the Champions League is through the Europa League, which is stupid, because no one's going to want to do that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's an interesting debate, but it is quite interesting if you are a Man United or a Newcastle, whereby your best chance of qualifying for the Champions League is probably to get knocked out and go down to the Europa League. It's weird, isn't it? But then again, winning the Europa League is not necessarily easy, like Kyle says. Of course, Liverpool are in the Europa League as well, aren't they? Well, you can get some decent teams in the Europa League. Thanks you for your tips for EAFC 24. It's much more playable now, says Gary. Yes, thanks, Gary. Yeah, don't play EAFC 24 without doing custom tactics and individual player instructions. There has been FIFAs in the past where you don't need to do custom tactics and you don't need to do player instructions, and you can still be quite good at it. But this year, you 100% have to do it. and you've got to master defending as well. Which I sort of have. I'm getting loads of clean sheets now. Mark, either or, better career, Willian or Welbeck, says Edgar. Well, it would be Willian, wouldn't it? Because I think Willian has actually won things. Who's better, Bernardo Silva or David Silva, says Prime. David Silva, I'd say. Ooh, ooh. Bum 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 bum. It's a sad thing, isn't it, that the music in the prequel Star Wars is better than the films by a long way. I mean, The Phantom Menace is absolute shite. The amount of people who say to me, it gets better when you watch it back. It's shite. It's really, really shite. I mean, that bit where the battle at the end and Jar Jar Binks is messing around with Naboo people. Goal! Maddison, 2-0. Son with the assist. He's got a goal and an assist. And Maddison has got the goal that I think is going to be crucial here. FPL points, cash back. That's what it's all about. Sir Bobby or George Best, Mark, I'm not doing it, Mandy. That's not happening. But that's a football goal, says Jack. And it's James Maddison who scores it. Again, playing out from the back. How many goals playing out from the back? And then because he's played out from the back, he plays them all onside. Lovely ball. First time ball from Højbjerg. And then Maddison states a goal. It's a goal, but it's a clean goal. That is the definition of how to calmly put somebody to the sword. You know, from the olden days, people used to get executed, and sometimes the swordsman would get it wrong and have to do it twice. Experienced swordsman, one cut, gone. And I think that's what Fulham have done there. They've made a massive mistake, but the kill has been clean from Spurs. Lovely ball by Højbjerg, into Son, slips it into Maddison, slips it in the back of the net. Good night. Thank you very much for watching. I'm inching for a cooking for Goldbridge, says David. And hi Mark, Carlisle or Barrow, says Mikey. I don't know where Barrow is. Hot take, Mount's transfer was necessary. We all know how many games Bruno played last season and always complained about the lack of quality on our bench, says Parser. Yeah, but he never doesn't play Bruno. If United ceased to exist, who would you then support, says Delta? No. I can't do that either. I will answer any either or, but I won't do that. Did I do the football fill-in today? Yes, I did, Sam. It's tomorrow morning. I think it's out on Spotify now, but it's out on YouTube tomorrow morning. Gravy on chips? Yes, Zippy. Yes. Thumbs up. Robert McCormack says, one-on-one with the keeper, anyone over Kane. Harry Kane is very good one-on-one, Robert. You're right. I don't, it's difficult because you could say Lewandowski, but I don't watch enough of. I've not watched enough of Lewandowski to know. I can only really talk about Premier League goalkeepers. I felt that Thierry Henry was very good in a one-on-one. But opinion on Leeds, Mark. Love the content, says Deacon. I mean, it's a shame you're not in the Premier League. Even though there's that rivalry with Man United, I quite liked it when we played Leeds. I wouldn't say Leeds are as big a rival as some clubs in the Premier League, but it's always nice to have a bit of a rivalry, and there was that rivalry with Leeds, and now it's gone again. Nicholas Walker says, does it bother you that Spurs can play this well so quickly with a new manager, yet United seem so disjointed after a year? Well, I spoke about this last night on the United Stand, Nicholas, and I don't think it's Ten Hag's fault. And I know some people say, well, of course it is, but I don't think it's Ten Hag's fault. I think this is an inherent problem within the football club that I don't think a Pep Guardiola or an Ange could get those players to play the way he's got Spurs to play. I think there's a problem in that football club, and obviously the players have to take some responsibility for that. But I think the whole mentality within the football club, the hierarchy, and the way that it's run, it just doesn't. It doesn't feel to me like it's going to change regardless of the manager, because we've tried lots of different managers and the same problem always presents itself. This weak mentality, this lack of inconsistency. But yeah, it does bother. What the hell is Vicario doing there? It does bother me, yeah. Well done, Romero. Good tackle. It does bother me because there's a really interesting stat. If Ange, this is incredible. If Ange and Spurs win tonight, and then I mention Ange specifically, if Ange and Spurs win tonight, I believe he breaks the record for the best ever start by a Premier League manager. Like, I think Gus Hiddink, I think Gus Hiddink and Mike Walker, who managed Norwich, had it. So it's not like it's Pep or anyone like that, but yeah, I think if Spurs win this, it's the best start ever by any Premier League manager, which is incredible. So it's not even it's not a good start. It's an incredible start. Still half an hour to go though, and I don't want to dismiss. I think the quality of the Premier League is such that, you know, you see West Ham get battered by Villa and you think West Ham were bad. I think West Ham put in a solid shift yesterday, but they just came up against a better side. And again, I think Fulham have put a lot of work into this game tonight, and they've come up against a better side. And to be fair, the second goal is a mistake, isn't it? But that's the pressure Spurs put you under. Will you get 4 points for an Udogie clean sheet? No. You've got to get 60 minutes. Yeah. There's a lot of people who've got Udogie as well, Tan. 10. Yeah, to get a clean sheet, you've got to play 60 minutes. I think Sarr's coming off here as well. He was meant to be good, wasn't he, Skip? Eric Dyer. Remember him? Yeah, Sarr's coming off here, and Skip comes on. Minus the outcome, R9 2022 World Cup or Mbappe 2002 World Cup against Mbappe. I can't be arsed, T-Truth. You're getting too technical for me now. I mean, I don't remember R9 in the 2002 World Cup being better than the 98 World Cup, really. I thought he was better in 98. Long time ago. I've seen so many fucking World Cups and stuff in my life, but I think R9 was better in the 98 World Cup than he was in 2002. That was my impression, but because I remember that I think Brazil were favourites to beat France in the final, but obviously he had that seizure, didn't he? If Spurs had the injuries Man United had, would they be good, says Tevin? Well, they haven't got the squad Man United have got. Anyway, Spurs are on the attack here. Kulusevski, good defending by Fulham. Who's got a better chance of winning the World Cup again, Italy or Germany, says the Juve? I don't know, mate. I don't know, because it goes in cycles, doesn't it? Germany will be back. They love football. They're efficient. Italy will be back. They love football. They've both got very good histories over the last 60 years, so they will be back. It's about who's going to be back sooner. This is why, for me, England, it's a wasted opportunity from Southgate, because the players that England have got right now, we have got. This is our time. And if Southgate doesn't grab it, we'll miss it. Raya or Ramsdale, says Bomb. I will do that one for you. Did we not do that yesterday? I think we did it yesterday, but I'll do it. Thanks for the super chat anyway, by the way, the Juve Stallion. Appreciate it. Don't forget, tomorrow night, if you want to watch some more football, United Stand, I'll be live on that channel because it's Man United against Copenhagen. And then we're back on here on Wednesday night for Newcastle against Borussia Dortmund. Rate first to fourth, Rio, Vidic, Stam, Virgil van Dijk. Ooh, good one, Mandy. I would put... Oh, it's tough. It's tough. That's really good, Mandy, you know. I don't shirk it, but it's tough. So rank Rio, Vidic, Stam and Van Dijk. I don't know who to put third and fourth between Stam and Vidic. Stam and Van Dijk. I don't know. I really did like Jaap Stam. But I think I've got to put him fourth. Van Dijk third. Rio second and Vidic first. Yeah. I'd always put Vidic number one. I just think he was a brilliant. It depends what you want from your centre-back. I mean, look, John Terry as an individual might be a bit of a knobhead. I don't know. But as a player, very, very good. And I'd put him in, I'd want him in my team. Leader and just what a centre-back is all about. People talk about, Rio could play out from the back. Yes, he could. But absolute centre-back who wins everything, leads, and, is physical. Yeah, Vidic. Thank you for putting that poem up. Has to be seen, says Odd. Yeah, please do give it a watch. Wrote it about Sir Bobby a few years ago and put it up on the channel at the weekend. And I'm glad that a lot of people have listened to it. Do a Liverpool watch along, says Fludge. What, on Thursday? No. Let me talk to you about what I'm going to do at the weekend, though, because I haven't decided what watch-alongs I'm going to do at the weekend. I may well do Chelsea-Brentford at 12:30. I think that might be quite an interesting one. I'm not doing Wolves-Newcastle at 5:30. I think Newcastle will win that. And then Sunday, it's all about the derby, 3:30, Man United against Man City, which actually stops you watching any of the 2 o'clock games because there's a clash. So, yeah, I will do Man United against Man City on Sunday. Ramsdale and Raya is really close. For me, I feel bad that Ramsdale isn't in goal for Arsenal, but the minute he bought Raya, that means he prefers Raya. So I'd go Raya. And I actually think Raya's better than Ramsdale. If you'd said to me at the end of last season, who's better, Raya or Ramsdale, I would have said Raya anyway. I think Ramsdale's really good. I do like him, and I'd like him to be England number one. He can't be England number one when he's not playing football, but I prefer Raya to Ramsdale. I think he's a better goalkeeper. I just think I've seen it so many times recently where there's just this media bias to the English player because we're in England. We're in England, we're in London, aren't we? We're in England, aren't we? We're in England, aren't we, Raya? We're in England, aren't we? But the Premier League's always been a diverse league, and I don't need to prefer people on their passport, and I prefer Raya. And I think Arteta does as well. Spurs are good, but 6 of their first 9 games are against the bottom 8, says Rahul. Yeah, it's a start. It's about to get interesting for Spurs. Crystal Palace on Friday. Chelsea the week after. I think they've got Villa coming up as well. So it don't get easier. But the thing about Spurs is 2 things. Can they keep the energy levels up? And can they keep players fit? Who was better Chelsea manager, Tuchel or Conte, says the Juve? I don't know. I don't watch Chelsea enough to know that. I mean, Tuchel won them a Champions League, didn't he? Son. Kulusevski. Son picks it up. I'd like a few more points. My name's Jody, not Odd. Mark, I'll forgive you. No, it says Oddie, Jody. You've not put a J in front of it. There's no J there. It says Oddie, not Jody. You need to put a J on your name. Everyone else can read it. I'm just going to have a quick look at my Fantasy Premier League. See how I'm doing. I've got 70 points. As things stand, I've got 70 points. And not only that, the bonus points at the moment will go to Son. So we'll get another 3. The bonus points at the moment will go to Son, Maddison and Romero. Van der Ven's not far off, but at the moment it's Son, Maddison and Romero. So I'm going to have 73 points as it stands. That's not too bad. Although people have got a lot more. People are going, I've got 86, 89, I've got 101. Don't care. It's 50-50 between Raya and Ramsdale in the poll. In my opinion, England not winning the trophy now is a bigger fail than Gerrard's generation not winning. We weren't objectively better than Brazil or France on paper. Our strength relative to the competition is better now. I agree, Tony. That's why I think England will win the Euros, because I think that it'll be a scandal if we don't win something from the last, 3 major tournaments. I think we should have won the Euros in 2020. I think we should have won the World Cup in whatever it was. And I think we should win the Euros next year. Free kick to Spurs here. Maddison's about to whip a cross in. I mean, if Spurs win this, people will start saying Spurs are going to win the league. You know it, I know it. Because that's just the way the media and content creators work. They'll start saying things like Spurs are going to win the league. And it's not really what Spurs fans want to hear anyway, because they're just enjoying the ride. But if you look at Spurs' first few games, Bournemouth, relegation. Man United, playing shit. Brentford, bottom half of the league. Liverpool, well, that game was, could have gone either way. Arsenal, very good points. Sheffield United, relegation. Burnley, relegation. Luton, relegation. So they have played a lot of relegation candidate teams as well as Man United. So I'm not taking anything away from Spurs. All I'm saying is they probably haven't really played anybody yet, apart from Arsenal away. The Liverpool game for me happened, but we all know what happened. So the only game I think Spurs have played this season that was a test, and they were brilliant in it, and they could have won it, was the Emirates. So I think Spurs are really good, and I think they are capable of getting in a title race, potentially. But I think if people start saying they're going to win the league, they need to play better teams to prove that. And Ollie or Southgate, says Mandy. And Martin says, best Bobby for football, Charlton or Robson? No, I'm not doing that, Martin. I loved Sir Bobby Robson, and I love Sir Bobby Charlton. They've both given me such, joy from the sport. Both fantastic. Both from the northeast as well. But yeah, I think the interesting time for Spurs is going to be over the next few weeks. And I'm not for 1 minute saying that they can't keep winning. Crystal Palace away, Chelsea at home, Wolves away, Villa at home. That's 4 really, really difficult games. And then they've got Man City away, West Ham at home, Newcastle at home, Brighton away on Boxing Day will be a cracker. We need more goals from Son, says Jack. I wouldn't mind a couple more. Add to me FPL. Chelsea's upcoming fixtures are terrible, Adam. They really are. Really bad. But you know what? I think sometimes you can look at a run of fixtures and go, how many times? Lampard v Bruno, not overall career, just quality. Lampard was better than Bruno, to be fair. Nunez or Jesus, who would you take for your club? Says Daniel. And I don't really know. Oh, Nunez. I'll take Nunez over Jesus. Yeah, I was thinking who you're on about. But you know, I think sometimes I wouldn't be too concerned if I was Chelsea, because I think sometimes you can look at a run of fixtures and go, we're screwed. And football doesn't work like that. Just because Chelsea have got 4 or 5 difficult games doesn't mean that they're going to lose them all. How many times have you looked at your club and gone, oh, we've got 5 really winnable games, and then you don't win all 5? It doesn't absolutely work like that. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, United are playing crap at the moment, they're going to get stuffed by City on Sunday. Well, they might, but I wouldn't be so sure about it. I mean, it might happen. If City play well and United play like they have been, then they will get stuffed. But let's not forget, Man United have had loads of these games against City. And, I mean, I remember United being 2-0 down at the Etihad and coming out in the second half and winning 3-2. You know, a derby can be a great leveller. It's at Old Trafford. So, you know, you can't... The great thing about this league is you can't really predict it. And... who's to say Chelsea don't go and win 4 out of the next 5 games? Anakin's just done 100 push-ups. Do we believe him? I haven't done push-ups for ages. I used to be able to do about 50, but I think the best I ever did was 80 in my 20s. You can do 100. You can. Son or Maddison gets injured. Let's see in January, says EA Pirates. And good to see you, Mark. Have you ever considered buying a stand-up desk? I know you got your bad back. Much love, mate. I am. I'm going to get one, the Royal Mail. It's on my list. I tell you what, I've just seen something on the floor and it's made me want to do this. Who remembers the film Airwolf? Loved it. That's not Airwolf. That's that's not fit for flying. As you can see, Seb, that's a bad build. That would fail aviation regulations. That comes off, your tail comes off, you're in all sorts of trouble. I'll fix it for you though. I think you've actually made a mistake, but it will work. Look, a mistake is a mistake. Airwolf, the Airwolf, I can't even remember what the show was like. The theme tune is one of the best theme tunes ever. Are you going to do That's Football merch, says Reese? I don't know, and I'm putting you in timeout because you've asked the same question about 50 times tonight, and I'm just tired of it. Alex says he watched some old Airwolf clips on YouTube and it ruined my childhood memories. Robin Van Persie versus Villa or Rooney versus City on quality. Van Persie's was better. Rooney actually shinned it. It wasn't a clean hit by Rooney. Technically, it wasn't clean. I mean, it was bloody brilliant. But Van Persie's was technically, he performed it better. Even though Rooney's was harder to do. I watch a lot of things on YouTube, old stuff, and I watch a lot of Saint and Greavesy, which is, I just find it a bit weird to watch a it's like watching Football Focus from the 90s. Like, what's the point? But I just love the music, and I loved that time, so I watch a lot of that. Normally when I've had a few and I get in. What else do I watch that's old on YouTube? I watch some really... YouTube's fantastic. I mean, we're on YouTube now. I mean, I'm talking like it's something. Oh, have you ever tried YouTube? We're on it, idiot. But no, I watch some stuff on YouTube like what do I watch on YouTube? There's I can't remember what it's called. I really should shout them out. But there's this guy who goes around London doing these London walks, and it'll be like, parts of London that you didn't really know existed and stuff like that. I love that. YouTube's a great place. You can find anything on YouTube. You can't find porn on there. That's something else. But, you can find a lot of stuff on YouTube. My mate sent me last year, and I did watch it for a couple of minutes. He said, I guarantee you'll watch at least a couple of minutes of this. He said, they do brilliant views. You know what it was? It was somebody who had, I don't know what you call them in your house, but like you can get a spot it's got a black head on it. I think people call it blackheads. And if you squeeze it, sometimes, although it's got a black head, you squeeze it and this white stuff comes out like a worm. Or sometimes, if it's been there for a long time, it's like a big squeeze of a white thing. It was a video like the world's biggest blackhead removal off his face, and he sent it to me, and I did watch it for 2 minutes as this surgeon was just poking around it to take it out, and it was sickening but intriguing. And I said to my mate, I've had to turn it off because it's just ridiculous. And he said, there's loads of them on YouTube and they get millions of views. And I was like, there's actually people who like to watch people having a blackhead removed by a doctor. Weird. But there are things like that people like to watch. Ben says, will you marry me? I'm already married, Ben. It would be illegal. I like watching people build Lego. That's good. Connor says, any tips for starting a new job? I'm nervous, says Connor. Hold your breath before you walk in. It's a great way of resetting your mind. It's true. If you're feeling nervous, before you go in, hold your breath for about 10 seconds. And when you let your breath out, your body resets and the nervousness will have subsided. Don't hold your breath for ages, you'll pass out. But, yeah. 2-0, 10 minutes to go. It's true. Somebody told me years ago, I was at a funeral, I was really upset and I had to do a speech. And I couldn't control, how upset I was. And they said, just hold your breath for 20 seconds. And I held my breath. And I breathed again, and I was composed. Mark, do you feel Villa are more stable than Brighton and Hove Albion, says Vish? Well, no, I think Brighton, I've said this before, I think for the next year or two, Brighton are in a very stable position based on what they've been doing for the last few years. When other teams catch up with them, then Brighton might have an issue. But I actually think people who say that Villa are going to finish above Brighton, it's an interesting, I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's quite an interesting one, because I think Brighton's squad is better than Villa's. When you think about it, they actually have got a very, very deep squad, Brighton. Villa are a bit like Spurs. Have they got the depth? Mark, do you feel Villa are more stable? I've done that one. Son's off. No more points for Son. Do you feel Spurs will get top 3, says Albin? No. I think the top 3 will be Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal, as boring as that sounds. I do think that they are the more established clubs, but I'd love it. I'd love it if there was a shock. That Leicester season was great. I just started streaming last month, Mark. Any tips for a new creator? Yeah, I'd quit, mate. It's a bloated market now, and everybody just does the same old thing. So I won't bother. I'm only joking. I don't know what you do. I need to know more about what you do. But my big advice is just be yourself, and if you're lucky enough that people like you, at least you're authentic. I mean, when it comes to look, the reason I said what I just said is we were watching Villa West Ham yesterday, and I searched on YouTube, and there was about 20 watch-alongs, and about 16 of them had less than 20 people watching. And I looked at them, and it was like watching 15 bad versions of this. And I'm like, what's the point in starting a YouTube channel and going, I'm going to be the next big, massive watch-along live streamer, by copying everybody else who does it? Like, you're wasting your own, you're wasting your time. Like, you're just literally, it's like ITV starting a bloody soap called The West Enders, isn't it? You know, posh people from London. It's just, you've got to be different. Oh, what a save. He's made 2 big saves today, Vicario, you know. Is that his name? Did I get it right that time? He has, you know what? This is what I mean about this game. Oh, Spurs were so comfortable. Spurs were so comfortable. Well, Vicario's made 2 fantastic saves. The header in the first half and that one-on-one there. Oddie says, now you can always take it again. I don't know what they're on about there. I think it's a private chat. Another good block. This is what I mean. It's a great save, says Fennick. They've had to work for it, Spurs, tonight. People will say straightforward 2-0 win, but it hasn't been. Hi, Mark. What do you think about Borussia Dortmund this season? Do you think they can win the title? I've got to be honest. I've paid no attention to the Bundesliga, but they are currently in 4th, 2 points off the top. It's going to be I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good game on Wednesday. With Newcastle beating PSG in Newcastle, if they can beat Dortmund on Wednesday night, then I think it puts Newcastle in a great position. And you know, you got Milan in that group as well. So, but I was looking at the Dortmund team at the moment. Wolf, Hummels, Schlotterbeck, Rierson, Malen, Royce, Chan, Brandt, Rayner still there, Adeyemi, Sabitzer, Haller, of course. They've got good players. I think Newcastle will beat them. In the poll between Raya and Ramsdale, it's basically 50-50, but it's not. It's 49% Raya and it's 51% Ramsdale. So very, very close. Pointed Moth says, any advice for my driving test tomorrow? You know what? I'd love to give you some advice. But, you know, at the end of the day, believe in yourself, be confident. And whatever you do, don't go to the pub or anything like that first. What do you think of Maddison this season, says Elvin? Incredible. Incredible. I mean, this is a guy that I actually thought could be a contender for being flop of the season. And he's actually on target for being signing of the season. And the reason this is why I love football, because, you know, you make a bad opinion and people ridicule you, that's fine. But tell me somebody who gets everything right all the time. Nobody. And that's the whole point of having your predictions, isn't it? You try and make edgy, out there predictions so you can say, oh, I told you so, I was right. But half a chance for Fulham there. He's been brilliant. And I thought at Leicester last season he was shit. So I was like, Spurs, not been very good for 3 years. Maddison wasn't very good last year. You can see why people could predict that it wouldn't work. And he's been absolutely incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. He's one of the best players in the league at the moment. So, yeah, fantastic. And fundamental to Spurs. It's interesting, though, since some of those key players for Spurs have been taken off, Fulham have come more into the game, and I suppose that's the concern, isn't it? If they get a couple of injuries, I mean, Fulham haven't given up here; they're still going. Bruno or Maddison, says Lewis. Well, on form, it's Maddison, isn't it? In reality, I would always take Bruno. Man City to ban fans for the offensive Sir Bobby Charlton chant, says Jim. I mean, I don't give him the time of day. The clip got sent to me, and I wish I'd never listened to it. But, you know, they do it for attention. They've had the attention. But fair play to Man City. It's probably very easy to identify them and ban them from football for life. Well done. That's what you do. You know. The sad thing was that it got shared around by everybody going, oh, this is disgraceful, this is disgraceful. Well, it is disgraceful, yeah. But they win by having it shared around. But now they lose because they'll be banned from football, hopefully. If you were Daniel Levy, what players would you go for in January, says Elliot? Well, I've said this a few times, Elliot. I really do think with Aston Villa and Spurs, they've got to buy in January. Like we've all said, the question mark with Villa and Spurs is, have they got enough petrol in the tank? So obviously, if you're the owner of Aston Villa and Spurs, in January, you've got to go and buy some petrol. And, you know, Spurs have got the Kane money. So if I'm a Spurs fan and I'm a Villa fan, you've got to be looking to buy in January. Who's your favourite wonder kid? Mine is Neymar, says TJ. I think Rooney for me. I really do. I mean, you think about Rooney when he burst on the scene, he was 16. And him being English just adds to it. Spurs on the attack here. There was an offside. Oh, favourite failed wonder kid. Not Rooney, TJ, sorry. Favourite failed wonder kid. I think again, sticking with the England thing, I'd probably say Theo Walcott. He got taken to the 2002 World Cup, or was it the 2006 World Cup? It must have been 2006 World Cup. He got took there as a 17-year-old. Arsenal paid money for him from Southampton, and you know, he wasn't completely rubbish, but he was never the player that he was meant to be. I mean, if you took pace off Theo Walcott, he's probably Marcus Albrighton, isn't he? And that might be an insult to him. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Another win for Spurs. They're back at the top of that league. Nothing's going to change that. And I tell you what, they can open that gap even bigger because they play before everybody else. They play on Friday night as well. So that gap could be 5 points before Man City play Manchester United. Psychologically, that's a massive game for Spurs on Friday night against Palace. I tell you one player that always sticks out to me as being overhyped and never really achieved anything. Remember Adriano, the Brazilian striker? He was on the front of, was it Pro Evo or... Because there was a time when Pro Evo was actually better than FIFA. I bought Pro Evo for about 3 years in a row. Was it around 06? Pro Evo was way better than FIFA for about 3 or 4 years. But Adriano, yeah. Mads was class last season. Diamond in the rough, says Joe. He was unstoppable in Pro Evo. I used to love Pro Evo. And what I loved about Pro Evo is the players developed better than they've ever done in FIFA. I remember I had Wayne Rooney at United, and he was like 18, 19. And by the time he was 24, he was fucking unbelievable. He grew in the game so much, Rooney. And I've never really noticed that on FIFA. I've never really noticed players that grow like that. It was a good game. I've played the game. The best podcast episode would be The Rest Is That's Football. Collab with Goldbridge and Lineker. They won't do it though. They won't do it. You know, this is. I just think that it's a bit like Fury and Usyk, isn't it? You're on this planet for a short period of time. Give people what they want. Give them the matchup that they want, And I've always been frustrated in this world that I operate in that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You know, these link-ups just don't happen. It's all safe. It's all with their mates and stuff. And I'd love to do that. I'd love to give you that. But Lineker won't do it. Neville won't do it. Jordan won't do it. Morgan won't do it. You know. But do we need it? We don't need it. It's a nice to have, but we don't need it. 3 minutes to go here. Chris, I used to love Pro Evo. I really did. But he's very good with his substitutions, Ange, isn't he? Maddison's been took off. Son's been took off. I think Richarlison's been took off. They're only playing one game a week, and he's looking after them because they're working really hard. I mean, I forgot Brennan Johnson played for Spurs. Two goals were scored by Son and Maddison. Assisted Maddison, Son. Assisted Son, Richarlison. Next watch along on this channel's Wednesday night. Newcastle Dortmund. Looking forward to that. Tomorrow night I'm on United Stand. For Copenhagen. I'll tell you what, I wish they'd bring back 7:45. Oh, here we go. Might be clean sheet gone. No, he's messed it up. Good defending by Spurs. Fulham have had chances. Yeah, I don't like 8 o'clock kickoffs. I don't know why we can't get 7:45 kickoffs back. I love the 7:45 kickoffs. Even Champions League's 8 o'clock. I'm a cold heartbreaker, Mr. Berg, and I'll rip your heart in two. I'll tell you what film I really want to watch. Aliens. I've seen it loads of times, but I've got a real urge to watch it. Cracking film. Cracking film. I've got 70 points on FPL and I'll have 73. Because the bonus points are going to go to Son. He's got bonus points are going to go to Son is going to get 3. Romero is going to get 2. And Maddison's going to get 1. I'll tell you what, Romero must have had a bloody good game to move ahead of Maddison. Maddison scored a goal, didn't he? So if you've got Romero, you're going to get 2. If you've got Maddison, you're going to get 1. And if you've got Son, you're going to get another 3 points on his 11. Cheers, Mark. I'm flying to Manchester from Chicago for the game on Sunday. I accidentally bought a 65 plus senior ticket. Do you know how strict they are about that at Old Trafford? I'm very nervous, says Raoul. Well, what I would do, I mean, this is a great story, Raoul. So Raoul has bought a ticket 65 plus for the Manchester derby, and he's nervous. First things first, Raoul. How old are you? Because if you're in your 40s, a bit of makeup and a bit of spray, you'll be absolutely fine. If you're 19, you're screwed. How strict they are, it differs. It depends on who they're looking at. You know, it depends who you get. Sometimes they look, sometimes they don't. Personally, if I was you, I'd get a stick, I'd get some grey wig. But if you're 19, you're never going to look like you're over 65. Let us know how it goes next week. He's 28. You're fucked, Raoul. You're fucked. You're not going to make yourself look over 65 at 28. You're really not. That's the end of this game. Raoul, you should have told us this at half time. We could have had a really good conversation. But at 28, if they check your age, there's no makeup or spray that's going to make you look 65. You just can't do it. Anyway, what a way to end the show. This is what you get on That's Football. You don't get it anywhere else. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe on your way out. We'll be back with some content for you tomorrow. Really enjoyed the watch along tonight. Well done to Spurs. Really, really deserved it. I think Fulham, you know what, it was the complete performance from Spurs because their goalkeepers made 2 big saves. Their defenders have been blocking and tackling all game. Their midfield was energetic. Their attack never stopped creating chances. It was a really good win for Spurs because Fulham played well. Fulham did play well, but Spurs played better, which is the story of their season so far. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you later.